Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about phase relationships with drums, something we need to keep in mind when mixing. Hey, this is Chris from mixdown.online. First of all, I want to welcome you if this is your first time here, and I want to encourage you to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss anything. So now, phase relationships with drums. First, let me just explain to you what phase is. So first we need to understand that there's a cycle in a waveform, okay? So if I take, for example, this kick drum, you see the waveform. So there's a positive and a negative side of this cycle, okay? So this is one entire cycle. Now, when we're talking about phase relationship, we're talking about the relationships of all the tracks with their cycles, okay? If they're well aligned together, if the relation between these cycles don't create cancellation. So basically making sure that you're not losing anything with the relations of all the microphones. So the drum kit is a perfect example, because when we record acoustic drums, we use several microphones to record an entire drum kit. And we have to make sure that all the phase relationships doesn't cancel each other and create like a thinner sound. So this is something we need to work on, and this is exactly what I'm going to show you today. So let's go back to our cycle here. So we have the kick drum here. So if we look at what phase is, so basically phase is the relationship of time between two identical signals. Like for example, if we take this kick drum and the sub kick, okay, the kick drum was recorded inside the bass drum and the sub kick outside the bass drum. So what we have here, we have a time difference between the two. Okay, so this is the kind of stuff we need to check on. So if we just listen, let me put my headphones on and let's have a listen. Okay, if I drag this down a bit, so they're perfectly in phase, at this point I don't hear any difference. So I'm just going to bring that back. But if I bring that a bit further, now you're going to feel that you were losing a bit of bottom out of that kick drum. Let's go back. Hear the difference? So this is what phase can do to your general drum kit, the drum sound. So at some point you have to check if you're not getting any phase cancellation. Because what's going to happen basically is your sound is going to be thinner. So this is for phase. Now, when we're talking about polarity, okay, we're talking about switching. We hear the term switching phase, which is in a sense inaccurate, but I'm going to refer to that more as polarity switch. Okay, so what is polarity? So the polarity is the relationship between the positive and negative in a balanced signal. So just to give you an example, I'm just going to duplicate that track. So now we have two identical signals. If I take this one and I go into process and phase reverse. Yeah, it should be polarity reversed, but okay. So now we see that the polarity has switched on the bottom kick. So if we listen to both signals at the same time, we have nothing. Okay, if I mute one of them, we have something. This is a drastic example because we're dealing with the exact same signal. So you're not going to have that kind of cancellation on drum kit because you're not dealing with the exact same signal. But if you're having the overheads, for example, that are not in the same polarity as the kick drum, your sound is going to sound a bit thinner. Okay, so let's check if that is the case with this drum kit. Okay, now I'm going to start with my kick drums right here. Okay, let's bring up the snares. Okay, and let's add up the overheads. So what I like to do here first is to listen in mono. Okay, so I'm just going to activate my my plugin here, which is only the stereo imager, which I just activated the mono option. And now everything is in mono. And I'm going to switch the polarity. Click on the phase button right here of the overheads. It's off. Again. Okay, I can hear the kick drum a bit more present. It's pretty subtle, but you can hear it. In case if I bring it back, there you go. Okay, so I'm going to keep my phase button here on, which is reversing the polarity basically. And if I check the overheads, the tracks here, I can see that the polarity is actually not the same as the kick drum. So it makes sense that now the kick drum sounds a bit more full, okay? Now let's have a listen to the room mics. I'm gonna mute the overheads. Let me check something here. I'm just gonna look at my phasing here. Yeah, I have a bit of a difference here. Let's try this one. At some point, I can feel that there's a problem with the phasing here, so I'm just gonna bring that a bit closer. I'm just gonna mute these and listen to my room mics. If I go back, okay, yeah, it sounds a bit more full here, so I'm going to leave it this way. Bring back my kick drums, my snare, and let's listen to the rooms now. Let's reverse the polarity. Yeah, there's a difference. Sounds way more full with the polarity activated here. Okay, so I'm just going to bring back my overheads. So even with that phase button off, we can feel a bit that we're losing something, so I'm going to keep it on. Now let's listen to the room shit mic. I'm going to do the same. Okay, I'm going to keep it off. Okay, so now let's listen to everything and compare to with and without these polarity shifts, okay? To see if we have something more or if we have cancellation. I can compare both. So this is with the polarity shift. Okay, I'm gonna put them off. Way better. Back off. Back on. That's a huge difference. You hear it a lot in the bass drum, so you can feel that the bass drum is way more punchier and more full. So let's listen in stereo this time. Polarity off. Back on. It adds a lot. So, you know, now you feel the low end getting back together when I switch the polarity. So now in stereo, I can feel it even better. So there you go. So this is exactly what I do almost every time I work on a drum mix. Another way you can achieve that kind of phase relationship issues is you can move the waves. And match them to the same start point of the bass drum, for example. So you can actually bring everything up to the same start point as the bass drum. That's something else you can do to tidy up your sound. But I love, keeping the waves in their original time spots. But if I have to do it this way, I will do it. I'm not afraid to move the waves if I need to. But I will start by playing with the polarity first, and then I'll see. And always trust your ears on that, not your eyes. Sometimes you can, visually speaking, you check out the wave, the cycle form, and you get close. But, when you listen to the result, it's not as punchy. So this is something you need to always remember. Always trust your ears. So this is it for this week, guys. I hope that helps. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not already. Now, note that this multi-track session is available for free for you to download directly at mixdown.online. Until next time, see you.